Hey everyone, it's Amanda with My Life, My Way. Oh, I am hot, dude. It is 20 degrees Celsius outside, which I think is like 70 or 80 Fahrenheit. So warm for Canada. That's all I'm trying to get at. This is a live update, so if you're coming in later, feel free to skip ahead to the 2-minute mark. I don't have anything like super exciting infertility-wise to talk about today anyways, but usually for the first 2 minutes, I kind of like let anybody see if they're going to jump on and say hi and all that kind of stuff. If you do jump on, tell me hi, tell me where you're from. All I can see is that there's people coming in. I can't actually see like where anybody's from or any of that kind of stuff. Sorry I didn't update you guys last week. Things just kind of like got a little crazy and then I just missed it and the week was gone and I don't know what happened. So, as it is, I'm sitting in the car and I'm sweaty and I haven't showered today. So welcome to real life. This is how pretty much everybody is in isolation right now. So, but yeah, how you guys doing? Where are you guys from? I saw a couple people come on. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We are staying safe from COVID so far. We have had quite a few deaths. We've got quite a few in ICU, but everything looks like it's fairly leveled out. We're definitely not like New York crazy. So, not so bad. How about where you guys are at? Everybody doing okay? Oh my goodness. It is so hot outside. I'm just enjoying like 5 minutes worth of AC before I go inside. I'm at the Lowe's. If you couldn't tell from the picture, but there it is in the background behind me. Lowe's. It's one of the things I need to get done today. You guys are still in lockdown, hey? We are not in lockdown. We're in, what do they call it? Like, it's not actually a quarantine. It's just like a self-isolation policy. They've got all the small businesses closed down, but looks like the plan is they're supposed to open up over the next week or so to open them up. The restaurants are all open for the most part, but it's only for takeout. A lot of them you order online and then they'll walk it out to your car outside. So there's been some changes there. We don't have any places yet that are saying mandatory masks, but I'm sure that's coming. I got one made for myself. It's just coming. So that'll be a thing for me too. Be fun stuff. A lot of hand washing going on. And I can't believe I forgot my hand sanitizer. I usually have one in the car, and I don't today. Apparently that's just not a thing I thought of when I left the house today. Whew. But yeah, so I'm just outside today. My husband and I got the grass mowed for the first time this year last night. And then we actually borrowed our next door neighbor's power raker, so we got that done. And then today I went out and I overseeded the front and back lawns. I got the back lawn fertilized and then I ran out of fertilizer for the front lawn, hence the Lowe's. And we need some quick connects. So they're like, if you haven't used them before, they basically allow it so that you can pop on and pop off all of your accessories outside for all your hoses. And we had 2, which is not enough because we only had 1 hose last year, but we got the very janky, not working, I think it's called a hose bib, the like thing on the outside of your house for the hose. In the front of our house actually didn't work. We got it replaced last year. And so we can actually hook up a hose to it this year and run water out my front yard from my front yard, which is nice. So instead of like super long from the back to the front, just do 1 hose. Not so bad. But I need more quick connects in order to facilitate a second hose in there. So that's what I'm here to pick up. And I gotta go down to Safeway. I need milk. And I'm working tomorrow because paramedics don't rest. It's not really a thing. So I got a noon to midnight shift tomorrow, which is nice. I love those shifts. Anything like noon to midnight, 1 to 1 in the morning, all that kind of stuff. We're wearing masks too all of the time, just like all of the nurses that are in the city here, probably most of the nurses that follow me online. And I know at least there used to be a paramedic out of Australia that used to follow me too. So if you're around, hi. I hope you're staying safe too. We're looking like we're starting to reopen, which is awesome, as long as people don't realize that reopening doesn't mean just go outside and hug everything that moves. You should still be maintaining that physical distance, even if you're not socially distancing. So maintaining that like 2 meter mark between you and anybody else, staying home if you're sick, washing your hands a lot, wearing a mask when you're out in public. All of these things that we've learned during isolation, we should be continuing onwards, because us reopening doesn't mean that the COVID is gone. Like it's not gone. It will never be gone. It's here to stay. Once we get a herd immunity going, it'll probably drop its death rate and its infection rate probably down to somewhere similar to being a regular influenza. It's not in the influenza family, but it should fall somewhere in there. But we don't have any herd immunity right now. We've never seen it before. Your bodies have never seen it, which is why it's spreading as fast as and wild as it is. So right now in Alberta, where I live, we've got a hotspot in Calgary and the Calgary sort of area down by like High River and that kind of stuff, where they're having a bit of a problem with the spread. They'll probably be slower to reopen, which is fair. But up in Edmonton, we haven't had a whole lot of cases that are not travel related, which is really nice. We understand people that are traveling are probably going to pick it up. Even if you don't come from a hotspot, the airports have a lot of people in them. And as much as they're cleaning them as regularly as they can right now, it's still a hotspot in itself. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. So be careful of that. I wouldn't just like, well, they're opened up, I'm just going to like take a flight and then go somewhere. I'd like to go somewhere too, but that's not really how it works right now. There's been a lot of people really upset about like them asking people to not go to their cabins and stuff for the summer like some people have planned. And it's not because they don't think that you like fishing on a lake by yourself is dangerous. It's not an inherent risk. What they're worried about is that people tend to be contagious for about 3 days before they show symptoms, and we call it pre-symptomatic. That's the technical term. And some people are even asymptomatic altogether, and they're just carriers. They're little germ factories as they wander around. Kids especially tend to be asymptomatic, so they're contagious. They'll spread it to their parents, to their grandparents, to their families, but they don't get sick with it very often, which is great for our kids. Not great trying to track where this is going. I've seen some new updates about the COVID toes. If you haven't seen it, you should look at it. Apparently that's a legit thing, where kids are showing signs of like COVID in their feet, which is a weird symptom. But what they're worried about is that when you're in this pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic time, that you'll take it with you to small communities that you're going to go hunting and fishing and camping in. And the small communities, like I'm in a pretty rural province. We have 2 big epicenters, and then everything else has like populations of less than about 80,000. Some of our smaller towns have populations, I kid you not, of like 55, which is the town that my dad grew up outside of. I think they've expanded to 108. I think literally that was the, I don't even think it's a town. I think it's a village, if you want to get technical. So we have a lot of very rural spaces. And the problem is you could be asymptomatic or pre-symptomatic and take it and carry it with you to those small towns when you gas up, when you stop in for groceries, when you go for a beer run, when you just need another pack of smokes. And they're worried that you're going to take it to a small community who's not built to handle a pandemic. Like most of us in the epicenters are not ready to handle a pandemic. The small town hospitals have like 2 emergency beds in some towns. Like that's not enough to handle it sweeping through a town of 50 people. The nice part about them being spread out like that is that they're at lower risk unless people from epicenters like Calgary or Edmonton take it and go to the smaller towns. So that's the worry. They're not saying that fishing is bad. They're not saying that fishing is bad for you. Just if you have to stop 4 times to get to where you fish, that's a problem. So you can pack everything into your car, have everything ready to rock and roll, and just be really careful when you get gas about like hand washing before you touch the pump, hand washing when you're done touching the pump, pay at the pump so you don't have to talk to the people inside, and then just go and chill out. Then that's totally fine. Just be cautious, because if you're pre-symptomatic, it could mean that you get sick while you're out there, and are you going to be close enough to town to get back to a bigger city that's going to be able to handle you? So that's just one of those things. There's been a lot of fear about people not calling paramedics too. We're still here. We're still working. We're still coming to you regardless of your COVID status or not. Don't lie to us. We might PPE up because we're like full PPE now with the mask and the gown and everything else. Every time that we have any of the symptoms listed. So if you've had recent travel, shortness of breath, sore throat, fresh cough, any of that kind of stuff, we stop PPE up. It's fine. We're still coming. We look a little scary. Sometimes it feels a little ridiculous because you walk in the house and the guy's in like his late 50s and he's gray in the face and he's super sweaty and he's short of breath and he's got chest pain and you're like, this dude does not have COVID. This dude is full on having a jammer. But we treat you like COVID anyways, and then we treat you for the jammer. Jammer means heart attack, by the way. Large heart attack. I don't know. That's a really weird colloquial term now that I'm thinking about the fact that there are people that are not paramedics that follow this. It's been really unfortunate on our, like, infertility status, too. So that sucks. We were planning to go back to Prague this spring for IVF, and that's obviously not going to be a thing anymore. We're hoping that most of this dies down enough that as long as you're safe, we can go back for this fall. But now my husband's been laid off from work because things slowed down and he got sent home. He was in the States for work for a little while. But there's just not a lot going on right now because everybody's isolated and kind of locked down. So we're hoping he'll get to go back to work. And then if not, I mean, that's going to push all of those envelopes just that little bit further. He is on EI. He was eligible, so it's nice. I'm still working, so that's nice. So we're definitely still okay. But I think the worst part is it's my birthday next week. My husband and I are only 6 weeks apart. He actually had his birthday just before he came home. So he was in Texas for that and got to celebrate with friends of ours in Texas and not me, which I was really sad about. But my birthday is on the 11th, and it falls every year right around Mother's Day, and it's just kind of a shit year. You know what I mean? Like, we almost went to IVF, we didn't, we had a miscarriage last year, we're still not pregnant, it's another Mother's Day, where the only person in my entire family that recognizes that I've even, like, been pregnant or whatever is one sister-in-law, who has also lost a baby. And so she kind of, like, knows and understands that pain in a way that the rest of my family just doesn't seem to grasp. And while I've said before that I'd like to have people say Happy Mother's Day to me, my own family does not. And I don't know if it's because they're uncomfortable, or they're sad, or whatever, or they don't want to make me upset. But it's kind of sad. This is, what are we on now? 4 years running? Since our first loss? Yeah. Yeah. Because my nephews are turning 3 this year. So it would have been 4 years ago that we lost ours. I guess 3 years ago in January. It would have been 4 years ago that we found out we were pregnant. And it just, so this is our third, like, Mother's Day that's going to go by. And worse yet is Father's Day. And it just sucks because Mother's Day and my birthday are always, like, hand in hand. And they're always, like, a day away from each other. Sometimes they fall right on the same day. And so we'll go do something for Mother's Day. Obviously not this year. We'll go, like, hang out at my mom's house for Mother's Day, and my mom will say Happy Mother's Day to my sister-in-law who has a baby, and is now actually have 2. Congratulations to my brother, by the way. But then nobody says it back to me, and it's really sad, and it's really disheartening, and it really sucks. But at least I have one sister-in-law, and she follows me on here, so you know who you are, and I love you. And I can't wait till this is over and go see your kid, too, because he's super cute. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. It just kind of sucks. I'm going to put my PO box in the description below because I forgot when I put this video up that I was going to start putting my PO box into the description box every week now when I do a video. But I've only done 2 videos now with the PO box in it. I've had the PO box for like a year and a bit to like run the bath bombs for babies and stuff, and I started watching a lot of other YouTubers and they put their PO box in the description box. I'm like, oh, okay. But if you want to send me a birthday card, give her, that'd be awesome. Or like send me a message and say happy birthday in the stuff below. I think it would kind of brighten my day up a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna get the rest of my lawn stuff done. And then, oh, the other thing we're doing is we have a pretty major DIY project. Jeez, words are hard today. We have a pretty big DIY project going on. Our basement. My husband tore it apart when we were still dating. We've been married for 6 years this August. So, probably about 6 years ago from now, actually. I came home one day and he'd ripped all the walls out of our basement. His old roommate had a cat. The cat liked to pee on the walls and they stunk. And he went down there when it was like raining, so it was a little humid down there, and it was like permeating out of the walls, and he just said, nip, and just ripped all of the walls out of the basement. Went on to be floor down there. So far we've got flooring down. We're working on our craft room, which I'm very excited about. We got it all taped off. We're where we want to do stuff. So if you want like a bit of a guided tour out of my basement, let me know. I'll put together like a an actual edited video instead of a live one if you want to see it. So if you do, let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share me around. And we'll see where it goes. If you're looking at having Mother's Day this Sunday and you are a bereaved mother, meaning that you've lost a baby in any stage, anywhere along the way, happy Mother's Day. Love you guys. I hope you take care of yourselves. Be safe during the COVID thing. Don't treat like opening back up as like freedom to do as we used to do. This is a new world with a new reality. Be safe. Take precautions. And make sure your neighbors are all okay. All right. Bye, guys.